Hey, first time. Oh shit. There we go. That should be working. Hello once again. If you've been watching my previous commentary from about 20 minutes ago, I'm back. This is the Race of Champions, guys. End of Season 16, at the very last race of Season 16. We've got 15 of the quickest drivers on track tonight, from basically 3 from tier 1, 3 from tier 2 and tier 3, and then 2 from tiers 4, 5 and 6. All of them are race winners. These are the guys that finished at the very top end of the championship in each of these tiers, and we've got quite a range of cars here as we've got another driver coming in. I have to set the grid for this, and we're waiting for one or two more to just join. So here's Juho just in time. But yeah, whilst waiting for him to enter, let's just go through what the grid looks like. On pole position, we start in reverse grid order from championship positions. So we got the tier 6 drivers in P1 and 2 on the front row of the grid. It's a standing start. Gabo in the Renault, which we know has a fantastic start off the line, is going to be starting in P1. And Slugger Dandy, that is Michel Beaumont in the Discord. He is in P2 in the BRZ, the first of 2 BRZs, which we never ever see in ROC because most people can't get race wins in it, to be honest. Then we've got Rocket lining up in P4 actually, because it is Juho that is going to be lining up in third once he enters. They are the top 2 in tier 5 who were separated by 0 points at the end of the season. We had to go and count back. They had the same number of first places, the same number of second places, and Rocket only won because he had more third places than Juho. So very, very, very tight championship battle in tier 5. In tier 4, it wasn't so close. Polty won it with a round to spare. He's going to be lining up just behind Amy when Amy joins. Just waiting for Amy. So if you one of her friends, then give her a quick tag and be like, come on, it is 8 o'clock now. So that is the first 3 rows, tier 6, tier 5, tier 4. Tier 3 are going to be on the next row. It's the 2 Porsches who won the Constructors title, Astro and Anonymous, just ahead of Sam, the champion, who another one who won it with a round to spare, won 5 races in a row after the Christmas break to take a huge lead there. Then we got another Porsche, so Sam is just surrounded by Porsches here, which is quite nice for him because they get horrible starts off the line. Higgsy in P8, not in P8, he'll be a little bit further down once I sort the grid, ahead of the Tier 2 runner-up Arukis and the Tier 2 champion Senor Fak, who stormed to a huge lead in the Lamborghini Huracan at the beginning of the season. No one could catch him. Very tight season though, with I think it was 11 different race winners in tier 2 this season. So yeah, be interested to see how tier 3 shape up against tier 2, to be honest, because these guys are very, very quick, the tier 3 guys. And then for tier 1, we've got Zico, we've got Yannick, and we've got BX Royal. So that's the only Mazda here, the only Gen X here, and the second BRZ. BX will be starting last. We don't have any Slim tonight, unfortunately, but we do have 3 incredibly quick race winners from this season from tier 1. Let me just set this grid. If Amy doesn't turn up, you're available. Well, you were in the same tier. You didn't come. Oh, how close did you come to winning a race? Okay, so Juho goes behind Rocket. Let me just go into Discord a second and see what is happening with the race champions. So Amy has apparently added me on PSN. Oh, yeah, I do see that. So she is coming. Great news. She'll be joining soon. Oops. Typing in all caps there. Here we go. Great news. Great news. So we do have the full grid full of everyone who was expected to race here. Sorry, JP, you're not going to be racing in this one. Got quite a few different nationalities represented here as well. We've got 2 Swiss drivers. I'm not even sure we've ever had a single Swiss driver in the Race Champions. 2 Germans. Make that 3 with Amy. Let me just set the grid again. Amy just ahead of Polty here. There we go. We can apply that. So let me just double check everything. So we got a Brazilian on pole position ahead of Frenchman, a Finn, and then how many Brits have we got? We've got 1, 2, we've got 3 because Zico is actually Polish. He just races under a British PSN. We've got a Croatian in the. We've got a Pole. So this is a very international grid we got lined up today. Let me just tell everyone we're starting soon. What the situation is here, by the way, is 31 laps, which is about an hour long. They have to use all 3 racing tyres, and we are doing feature race tyre wear, so that's 5 times tyre wear. So it's going to be heavy. I'm not sure if the 2 stops going to be good. If they want to try maybe a 3 stop and get more time on the quicker tyres, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Looks like we got some early support in the chat for tier 6 especially. Early prediction. I think Sam's going to win. One of the few tracks I've won at in GT7 was this exact layout in a Lexus. And it was pretty easy to win the feature race as well. This is pretty much feature race settings. It was a long time ago. We're talking like a couple of years now, but you know, it's still the same car. So I'm putting my money on a tier 3 driver tonight. He's got a nice start. He's going to overtake Anonyma and Sam and Astro, very quickly off the line as well. So he's going to only have to overtake drivers in the bottom 3 tiers potentially to get the lead. But we'll wait and see because everyone's going to be starting on different tyres. It might end up being quite mess into some of these hairpins that we've got. But let me just tell everyone that we'll be starting soon. I'll start at 6 minutes past, get everyone a chance to choose what tyre they want to race on. Yeah, I think if tier 6 driver won today, I'd be asking a lot of questions about where that pace came from. Basically, you just want to beat the drivers that are in higher tiers than you and avoid losing to drivers in the lower tiers. If you could do that, I think that's a massive success as a Race of Champions performance. The tier 1 guys, obviously they all have to finish on the podium. That is a minimum for these guys. Tier 2 always has it rough because they've got these super quick guys right behind them who might overtake them before they can start overtaking the drivers in front, and then it causes a bit of a delay in them getting to the front, and it affects their ability to get into the top 5. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Polty has been incredibly quick all season. He's starting in the top 6, but let's just have a little cheeky spectate and see what tyres everyone is on before we start. So hards, Zico, mediums for Rugas, hards, Anonyma, hards, Sam, mediums for Gabo, softs for Duo, he wants to get into the front. Then we got some more hards. Let's see if anyone else is going to start on the softs. Everyone else is pretty much on the hards, apart from a couple. So let's get going. Let's start the race. Good luck to everybody racing tonight, and congrats for actually qualifying for the Race of Champions. It's not an easy thing to do. I do have my keyboard plugged in, so we're going to get some good replays, hopefully. There we go. So the grid is set. We've got P1 on the mediums, P2 on the mediums, and Juho in 3rd on the softs, ahead of Rocket on the hards. So all sorts of different strategies at the start. We've got the lights coming on, Race Champions. 5 lights on. And the lights are out. It looks like a great start for Gabo in that Renault, as expected. A bit of a sluggish start from Slugger. Let's see what Juho's doing. He's going to try and get alongside Gabo and Slugger coming into the first corner. Juho's going to try and get around the ball. Gabo holds it really good around the outside, and Slugger as well. So it's pretty much the same. Everyone gets around the first corner pretty easily there. Amy is in contention here to get a position as well. So it's very, very close between the top 4 as we head into this panhandle kind of hairpin, which, oh, there's a bit of contact a bit further back, and there's some more. It looks like Anonyma pushed Amy a little bit wide there. Everyone jostling for position. Someone has completely lost it. It looks like Polty. Let's go back very quickly and see what's happened there from Polty's point of view. He's coming in really wide into the corner, giving everyone loads of space here. And then there's, just too many cars in one place. Juho is the one that spins on the soft tyres. Unfortunate for him. Now what's going on at the front as a result? Looks like Beaumont's just got ahead of Gabo there, and that is the BRZ taking the lead of the race. How about that? Defending for his life ahead of Gabo as they go around. There is some contact. Gabo's in the wall. Rocket and Anonyma are going to be coming now. Anonyma having a great start in the Porsche, already up into P4, looking to make it a little bit higher, up into P3, just behind Rocket, who's slotted into P2. And then Sam coming in hot into the corner, into 5th as well. Looks like another instant there. Arukis has been involved. Let's see what's happened with the Nissan. Tier 2 runner-up Arukis has been involved in some incidents in Tier 2, usually spinning though. It looks like he brakes really nicely for the corner here. There's Zico ahead of him, and a huge impact from Higgsy behind. That's going to be quite infuriating for him. I'm quite sure he's down in 12th, just ahead of Higgsy and Juho, who we saw have incidents, but Beaumont is crossing the line with a 2.4 second lead on these medium tyres to lead after the first lap. That is a fantastic start for him. Rocket is going to be starting to chase him down on the hards up in P2, doing really well. Hards for Anonyma in P3, just ahead of Gabo in P4. Then we got our highest tier 1 driver. Zico is up in 5th already, just ahead of Fak, who's getting challenged by Sam. This is our tier 2 and tier 3 champions going at it. And Senor Fak already going a little bit defensive there. Sam is going to fancy this position. A really long run up the hill to this braking point. We've got a bit of a battle for position between Zico and Gabo. Zico looks like he's going to get that move done. Goes a little bit deep actually. Senor Fak, meanwhile, keeps ahead of Sam pretty well. And then we've got the two Swiss boys, Yannick and Polty, coming through as well. Sam losing a bit of traction there. He's going to come under a bit of pressure now himself from Yannick, our other tier 1 driver in the Gen X, which we know is going to be very fast around here. So Sam has his work cut out to keep P7 for now. Polty as well, just ahead of Astro. So lots of drivers incredibly close here. Let's just see how everyone's doing. Beaumont, comfortable P1. Rocket defending for his life against the Porsche behind the tier 2 driver Anonyma here. And it looks like Anonyma's going for it. The door's being left open by Rocket. He brakes very late there. Really good braking there from Rocket, but Anonyma able to just slip on the inside. What about Zico? Zico's got past Gabo, and Gabo is actually fighting back against him. This is really good driving from the Renault tier 6 driver, making a go of it against the tier 1 driver. This is exactly what you want to be in the race champions for, to try and show your worth against these very top drivers. Loses out that time, but give a really good show there. Meanwhile, Rocket has lost that position to Anonyma, as we saw, but trying to stick with him as well. So, end of lap 2. Beaumont's extended his lead at the front. This is fantastic drive so far from Beaumont. Sets a 1 minute 58.4. That is the time to beat for everyone else. Zico's in the 57s despite his overtakes. He has caught up to the back of Rocket as well. Very solid start here. Yannick, meanwhile, the other tier 1 driver in the top 8, not getting the move done on Sam. Here comes Zico. And it looks like the Mazda is very well suited to this track. We have had a physics update. I wonder how the Mazda is after that, but Zico is making very light work of these guys. He's going to have to give a bit of room to Rocket, but Rocket has to slot in behind, and that is Zico in the top 3 already. Let's see where BX is. BX is last. He's trying to make some progress, so he's been in the wars and we've missed it. Unfortunate for him. He's on the mediums as well, so he's got some overtaking to do. Amy has been in the wars as well, down at the back. Now, Anonyma's up in P2 and cutting into Beaumont's lead. The gap down 0.8 of a second already from the start of the lap. I mean, I think Beaumont would want to end the race right now. He's getting caught pretty quickly. The gap under 2 seconds now. Anonyma has Zico for company, so this might affect Anonyma's ability to catch Beaumont. We'll have to wait and see what happens. The gap has started to increase again. Actually, it just looked like a good corner there for Beaumont. Then we got Zico, we got Rocket in P4, Gabo is in 5th. Really battling hard with Senor Fak, who's trying to get that position. He's managed to get Gabo a little bit wide there through the corner and takes that position. Sam is going to try and go through as well, but Sam instead hits the wall. Here comes Astro past Sam. Unforced error there from Sam, loses him the position. He's got damage as well, so here comes Yannick on the damaged car of Sam. Yannick actually lost a position somewhere, so he's been a little bit in the wars. But he's got, well, Sam's actually doing pretty well considering he's got all that damage. He's got Astro's slipstream, which is probably helping. Yannick actually coming under a bit of pressure from Arukis, who's recovering pretty well on these mediums, getting back into the top 9, getting that position off Yannick. Now Sam, who's his damage has just gone, and now Arukis has a chance of overtaking him. See what happens. Everyone pretty line astern coming out of the straight here. Gabo looks like he's going for a late move on Senor Fak, and he actually gets the position back. These tier 6 guys are really racy tonight. You love to see it. Gabo gets that position P5 back. We know the Renault is good on the acceleration, but bloody hell. Now Senor Fak versus Astro into the next corner. Senor Fak with the inside line pushes Astro a little bit out there. Now Astro has to slot in behind Sam, might try and get the position back as well. These three separated by absolutely nothing. Looks like there's a little bit of bump drafting going on. Aruka's trying to get involved as well. This is going to end badly. Yep, you can't try and get alongside there. It's always going to end up with one of you slightly in the barriers. And now Arukas with some damage might get overtaken by Polty here as well. Polty dropping out of the top 10 on his hard tyres, getting back into it. And here comes 3 wide into the hairpin. Astro looks like he's trying to get the position on both Fak and Gabo. Gabo lost the position to Astro. Astro getting a great hairpin corner there. Now Gabo and Senor Fak really close together. A little bit of contact there as well. Let's see what happens into this next corner. It's very tight again. Senor Fak got past Gabo on this corner on the previous lap, and he's still stuck behind him now. Astro's got a great opportunity to run off into the distance. Now he's got past these guys if they're going to keep fighting. We've seen Gabo take positions back already in this race, so bear in mind he was called up about an hour ago to race in this, and he's still doing incredibly well here. So end of lap 4, everyone is super close together. Yannick is up into 7th, he has got past Sam. Arukis in P9, just ahead of Polty. Then we've got Higgsy struggling in 11th. We've got BX up into 12th now, so he's already past Juho. Zico, what the hell has happened to Zico? He's come into the pits. It wasn't an incident, it's absolutely fine. Zico has come into the pits and he's come out on fresh mediums with the intention of carving his way through the field. He's going to have to do it the hard way because he's got all these drivers still in front of him. Look at the softs on Juho's car. That is very worn. He's going to have to come in fairly soon, maybe this lap. The gap at the front, meanwhile, Beaumont has a 2.3 second gap. He's still maintaining that gap to Anonyma. Anonyma on the hard tyres. He is on the harder compound. Nice little shot of the tiles in the tunnel. Thanks for that. And yeah, he could just stay out for a lot longer than he... I mean, those mediums are looking really nice. We're almost at 50% fuel. The fuel looks pretty brutal here. Let's see how Anonyma's got better fuel. Rocket's got the same fuel as Anonyma, and he's in the Lexus, so Anonyma is fuel saving to get that. Astro's fuel is slightly worse. And then we've got Yannick in the Gen X. We know the Gen X loves to drink fuel if you are fully revving. So Gabo down to 6 now. He's got Arukis all over the back of him. And not much Arukis could do there. Oh, Gabo's got a bit wide and he's got into the wall. There might be another position for Senor Fak to actually get past Gabo finally for the first time in a couple of laps. So there's 2 tier 2 drivers that have dispatched Gabo. Gabo in 8th place now, and Sam, who commentators cursed by saying I think he'll win. Currently 11 seconds off. Still, I think everyone is still within a really good shout. Amy has left the room, unfortunate. Okay, must have been having a nightmare at the back there. So, let's go back to the front and see what the gap is looking like. The gap has shrunk dramatically, so I'm assuming that must have been a mistake there at some point for Beaumont. The gap is 1.4 now. We're almost talking about slipstream range here. Anonymous on an absolute charge on hard tyres. This is a phenomenal start to the race for the Porsche. Coincidentally, the Porsche is banned in every tier next season. It managed to finish in the top 5 cars in every single one. Anonymous is showing you exactly why that's happened. Amy practiced for the wrong track. Oh dear. Rocket is getting caught by Anonymous teammate Astro, so we might actually even have Porsche 1-2 here. Porsche Tier 3 Porsche 1-2. So I did predict a Tier 3 driver to win, it's just the wrong one. Sam has got past Gabo here. Gabo, oh, is there a bit of contact? And he's in the wall. What happened? I think there was contact between Sam and Gabo. Let's see. Gabo looking a little bit sketchy there out of that corner. A little bit twitchy. Nearly hits the barrier there. And yeah, just unfortunately does rear end Sam. Sam straight into the barriers. And that is probably the end of Sam's chances at winning the race. Gabo is 8th and struggling. Polty is going to sweep past. BX on... Well, there's Higgsy. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh no. Okay, here is the tier 6 moment, as it was just said in chat. Into the wall, and then into the wall again. Polty gets past, Higgsy's trying to get past, and then BX is trying to get around the other side, and then there's just not enough space for the 3 of them. That is a 1-car corner, and there was 3 cars there, and unfortunately for Gabo, he's got some damage. He's down in 11th now. Sam has got past him again as well. He's given it a good crack. He's given it a good crack. Now, tell you who else has given it a good crack. The guy who's stayed P1 ever since the start. We're on lap 7, and a tier 6 driver is still winning the race. He's getting chased down by tier 3's Anonymous. Anonymous has shown incredible pace. I've been commentating on him all season long. This is very impressive though. When you think about the tier 2 and the tier 1 drivers, none of the other ones are in the top 4 at the moment. We've got Yannick in P5, here he is, just ahead of Arukas. These two trying to come through the field as quickly as they can. They've got Rocket 8 tenths ahead, but they're battling them each other as well, which would probably cost them a little bit of time. Astro has got past Rocket, setting his fastest lap on the previous lap at 57.5, which is 1.4 slower than BX, who's back up into P8. Rocket thinking about a move. There's also a move a little bit further back between Arukas and Yannick. Arukas trying to get that position from Yannick once again. These two having a real good battle between each other, and Arukas in the top 5. Great drive for him, overtaking the tier 1 driver. Here we go. I think we are on for a nice little battle for the lead here, especially because Beaumont just grazed the wall there. Anonymous taking tidier lines through these corners, and remember the BRZ doesn't have great top speed. He might get gobbled up here in the slipstream. He's going defensive in the corner. He's going to defend this P1 with his life, I'm sure of it. Now you've got to be careful on the exit when you take a tighter line. And he's got into the middle. Yeah, he's got defensive for the next corner early. This looks like it might just be one-way traffic though as we go through under the bridge, up the hill. If he's brave on the brakes, he could still keep P1. He is braver than Anonymous. He's going to hit the apex. He hits the apex absolutely beautifully, keeps P1. Good thing about the BRZ is you can afford to brake later than other cars, and that is what saved Beaumont this time around, but he's going to continue to come under pressure here. Good corner there again from Beaumont. Anonymous not able to close the gap yet. Anonymous tyres have started going into their grading phase. They're going to start going off a little bit now. They've got a huge gap to P3 behind. So Beaumont has a bit of a choice here. Is he going to continue fighting for P1? But if he loses that battle, he'll get gobbled up pretty quickly. Oh, they're going side by side. There's a little bit of contact in the braking zone. Once again, the inside line goes to Beaumont. He brakes just in time for the corner. Anonymous not able to do anything that time. And he's going to try and out-drag him up this slip road that they're going up now. And wow, that was some good acceleration. That was the Porsche versus BRZ acceleration on fine display there. He's trying to go the long way. That's insane. Whoa. This is an incredible overtake around the outside from Beaumont here. The move was done and dusted, and he just decides to try and go the long way around, and he actually gets it. He gets the position. Now, let's hope... Yep. Oh, God. Right. Fortunately, we can see what happened here as well. Oh, we just lose a little bit of traction. Out the exit, loses the lead of the race to Anonyma there. Pretty straightforward overtake. Now, that was the gift that Anonyma was basically waiting for. The gap has gone down from over 5 seconds to 3.5 to Astro behind. What Beaumont has to do now is try his best to stick in the slipstream of Anonyma and keep that P2, at least until the first pit stops and we start seeing what everyone is going to start doing. We have seen some drivers in the pits. Juho's come into the pits, he's in last place. Gabo down in 13th at the moment, hasn't come in yet. Neither has Higgsy. Wow, a lot of cars close together here. Higgsy trying to get past Zico and Polty, who's getting shuffled down. Zico has already come into the pits, remember, the tier 1 driver Zico in the Mazda is trying something different, an early pit stop. Polty defending from Higgsy. This is the McLaren versus a Porsche. Right, let's go back to the front. How is it looking? 8 tenths of a second, so Beaumont still is within the second range of and taking advantage of the slipstream here. Down in third place, we've got Astro and Arukis going side by side. Arukis on an absolute charge, completely dropped Yannick, and now is trying to get that position on Astro as well. He's up into a podium position. So the podium looks like tier 3, tier 6 and tier 2 at the moment. Not much Astro could do about that one. And yeah, we've seen some overtakes there from the Porsches, but the Porsche got had that time. Yannick in P5 is still only 8 tenths ahead of Rocket. Rocket doing really well at the moment in this Lexus. Still only 8 seconds off the lead. Getting caught by BX. BX on an absolute charge at the moment. He's got past Senor Fak. And Zico is up in 9th, just ahead of Sam in 10th. Sam on the hard still. Zico won't have to go on the hards again for the rest of the race, because I'm pretty sure he got rid of them already. 7 tenths. Beaumont lapping a 10th quicker than Anonyma by the looks of things. See in the chat people are saying Anonyma is fuel saving. Oh god, both of them going incredibly deep into the entry of that corner. Don't know if that was on purpose, but I don't think that's the optimal line. Looks like Rocket's going to come under a bit of pressure from BX as well. Let's have a look and see. We've got BX in another Subaru, BRZ. So P2 and P7 for the two Subarus around here. You wouldn't think that they'd be a good car, to be honest, around here, because there's a lot of time on the full throttle. BX is going to probably line Rocket up all the way through this section and just get him under the brakes. So let's see if that prediction is what ends up happening. Is it going to be an overtake under braking? Is he feeling brave? Rocket wants to defend. Rocket is going to just avoid Yannick, and this might be the gift that BX needed. Rocket, oh, nearly went into the pits there. And now, well, Senor Fat could have capitalized, but it looked like he just clattered the wall there at the end. So, yeah, the tyres are all starting to struggle now. Let's do a quick tyre check. The hards of Anonyma, pretty much 50%. Beaumont's starting to struggle quite a lot on these mediums, so I think he might be one of the next ones in the pits. Arukis exactly the same tyre wear as Beaumont, and he's catching him very quickly. The gap is 6 tenths of a second, so let's stick with Arukis, who's carving through the field. Only 2.9 seconds off the back of Anonyma now. He's lapping quicker than everyone ahead of him, that's for sure. Beaumont going a bit defensive, but he didn't need to. That's going to open a great opportunity here for Arukis to get a better exit, and he's already alongside. And now we're going to see the difference, a drag race between the GTR and the BRZ. The BRZ is going to have to try and tuck in and take advantage of the slipstream and get some speed back if he wants to try another move, but I don't think it's going to happen quite yet. We've got Astro not too far behind as well that he's going to have to think about. Looks like BX is just got past Yannick, so let's see what happened there. How does a BRZ overtake a Subaru? Genesis. Looks like Yannick's gotten into pause, actually, and that's why it's happened. Curious. Maybe he had to do something very quickly, but unfortunately for him, he has lost a position to his Tier 1 rival, BX Royal. BX, in the top 5, we saw him have... Well, he did have an incident, we didn't see it at all. The gap at the front currently stands at 2.6 seconds. Arukis is going to be trying to tear that lead down. It looks like he's got better top speed than Anonyma at this stage. Is he coming into the pits? Not this time. So, this is going to be a tough final lap on these mediums for Beaumont and Arukis. They're probably going to surely have to come in at the end of this lap. BX's tyres are a little bit better here. And Yannick on the hards is actually sticking with him fairly well. Then we've got Senor Fak just fending off Zico, so let's ride on board with this. Oh, Zico hits the wall. This is a little bit of gel free. And again hits the wall for Senor Fak. Two lovely yellow cars, very different cars though in the way that these two perform. Lamborghini better at the cornering and Mazda better on the straights. But Senor Fak doing pretty well to hold Zico back at the moment. A little bit of a taste for Senor Fak what's in store for him next season, because as a champion you do automatically get moved up. That is the only rule. Oh, what's going to happen? Very close. Fak squeezed him a little bit, and now he's going to try and go route that outside. Senor Fak's going to hug the apexes, and he had to lift off there. I think he thought he was getting a penalty, but I don't think he would have, and Zico gets the position anyway. So there is an extra position there for Zico, who's on this alternate strategy. 1.8 is now the gap between... Oh, we've missed a replay, an overtake. Let's see if we can get it on the replay. No, he's already got him. Unfortunate, we can't see that, but Astro has got past Beaumont in this previous lap. Tyres, surely they're coming in now. Arukis tyres, I don't think they have another lap in them. No, he's going around again. Beaumont is coming into the pits, as is BX. Let's see. BRZ's probably collaborating a little bit on the strategy there. Zico's going to go around into pits. Senor Fak is in the pits. These three come round as well. And what about Polti's in the pits as well, getting rid of his hards? It's going to... Well, and then there's a little bit of a gap back to Gabo and Juho, who both have made a pit stop. Looks like they have a nice little battle at the back here. It might not be the back at the end. Let's see if they end up overtaking anyone who's currently in the pits. Looks like everyone else is coming out now. Gabo was near Polti. Looks like Polti's just coming out of the pits. It's going to be very, very close. Gabo gets him, and it looks like Juho's going to get him out as well. So Polti slotting in with a full tank on the mediums in a last place for now. Meanwhile, at the front, we've got Anonyma starting to gap Arukis a little bit. The last lap, 58.5 for Anonyma, 58.4 for Arukis. So even though his tyres are completely shot, he's still extracting some really good performance out of them, which I don't think would have been possible pre-physics update. We're all learning what these new physics look like. This is the first race I'm commentating under the new physics. The drop-off's not that big. His fastest lap was, what, 2 seconds less than quicker than what he's doing now on pretty dead tyres. He's getting caught by Astro. Astro might be able to get him here. Yeah, look at the overspeed. I think everyone's going to have to come in because they're out of fuel as well. Yeah, everyone's coming in. Well, Anonymous actually carried on. These two are coming in now. Bit of a sloppy pit entry there from those guys. What's Yannick is coming in as well. Looked a little bit wide on entry as well. What about Sam? Sam's carrying on. Zico is up into P2. Anonymous is our race leader now. Higgsy coming in. Love Rocket's coming in. Then BX is our first of the drivers who actually came into the pits slightly earlier. He was behind Beaumont, but he is quite a bit ahead of him at the moment. He is on mediums compared to Beaumont's hards, so Beaumont adjusting to go from the mediums to the hards. Sometimes it can take a lap or two to get used to. Here come a couple of drivers out the pits. There's Arukis, there's Astro. BX is going to try and get the position. Arukis didn't want to give him the room. He manages to squeeze through and get that position on Arukis, so that undercut for BX, really important in the end. It helped him get in the mix, really, for the race victory, because these guys were leading the race just a few corners ago. So BX all of a sudden in with a great shout at winning. Meanwhile, Zico on a completely different strategy. He's going to have to pit more. He has plenty of fuel left to do another lap or two, and his tyres are looking fairly decent. Only 3.4 behind Anonymous now, who has done a great job at fuel saving here to stretch out this stint. It might lose him a couple of positions in the when he eventually does come into the pits, but I think it's gonna come back to him a bit later on in the race. We're still not even halfway through the race yet. We've got plenty of pit stops left to go. Zico hunting down Anonymous in two Polish drivers, by the way, in P1 and 2. I think that's another ALR first tonight. We'll see if they can finish in P1 and 2. Looks like there's been some change in position between BX Royal and Astro. He's managed to get past him very nicely there. Let's see on the replay what actually happened here. So we got BX coming. He's going to absolutely send it, isn't he? Oh, Astro just overshoots, actually. Opens the door, can't really cut back into it because BX is there. A little kiss on his way through, and BX is kind of our net race leader there. So everyone else in the pits, including Zico, I thought Zico could have carried on a little bit more. So we're going to have to see where Anonymous comes out of the pits. He's getting his fuel put in now. It's not going to take him too long. I think BX is going to come through, unless Astro does something in return and get that position back. Anonymous has short fuels to take the lead of the race. He's hung on to the lead that he had and just put in way less fuel. He's definitely trying an aggressive strategy in terms of his fuel. He's going to be a lot lighter on the straights here, but he's going to have to shift up pretty early, and BX is going to fancy position on Anonymous here. BX on the mediums, he's absolutely going for it. Like I said, you can't go too wide into this corner, and BX has got that position. Fantastic overtake there from BX. Let's watch that one again. So he comes out and he's just realized that a driver, a tier 3 driver no less, has come out of the pits ahead of him, and he's decided that he's with his up to speed tyres, he's absolutely sending it. He's getting the lead of this race, and yeah, that is a great bit of overtaking there from BX in the lead. He's got a half-second lead over Anonymous. Then we've got Astro. These two aren't really teammates here right now. Maybe they're going to play the teammate game and start bump drafting each other. We're going to have to work together if they want to keep up with a driver of BX Royal's caliber. BX hitting the apex there. These two actually having a go at each other. Astro getting the position done on Anonymous, and Anonymous falling a little bit backwards on these medium tyres, not feeling as confident as Astro, but as soon as I say that, Astro hits the wall there and brings Anonymous back in, and look who is in the fight as well. It's Sam, who's suddenly popped himself up into P4. He's on the soft tyres with a lot lighter fuel, so he should be able to get past these two fairly easily coming through the tunnel here. He's got less fuel weighing him down, and Astro is going to try and give Anonymous as much slipstream as possible to keep him ahead. These two are still side by side. You can't really go side by side through here successfully, and that's why Anonymous hits the wall there, loses a bit of momentum, does get damage as well. And now Sam is going to try and move on Astro, and he gets it. Is Astro going to do the switch back? He is, and Sam a little bit twitchy on the exit. It's another drag race. Meanwhile, Zico's got past Anonymous in all this as well. It's all kicking off here in the battle for P2. Zico's got to do the hard work, get past Astro, who's dropping back now on these medium tyres. He's still got damage, and it's nothing he's going to be able to do about it. Zico up into P4, and now on a charge against the other drivers in Tier 2 who found themselves in the top 5. Bloody hell, what's going on, Tier 3? We've been joking all season that Tier 3 is better than Tier 2, and all of Tier 2 are just Tier 3 drivers. And they're kind of proving it right now. The highest tier 2 driver is Rukas, who has had an absolute great race, even though he's had a bit of an incident himself. Let's see what's happening at the top. Astro still fancies this position back on Sam. Sam's got the soft tyres. Everyone has to do each tyre stint, and Sam has got to the front of this pack on these soft tyres. He's coming under a lot of pressure from Astro, but he's going to be better on the brakes here with those tyres. And look at that, is he going to overshoot? He is going to overshoot. Astro's going to take that position back, and there's a little bit of contact, Astro gets the position and back up into P2. I don't think it's going to be for long though. Zico meanwhile is catching up to both of them. The top 8 are all, well, between P2 and P8 it's incredibly close here. So let's ride on board with Sam. Like I said, he's got less fuel. He should be able to catch up to Astro pretty nicely here. His strategy is coming a little bit undone, being stuck behind Astro. Well, letting Astro retake him, I should say. And Astro defending the inside for his life. Around the outside goes Sam. He brakes incredibly late. That was quite stylish to save it there. Now he's up and running again. He loses a bunch of positions, and he's got damage. Let's watch that again. Just trying too much to go around the outside. Brakes way too late. And boom. I did like that spin at the end though. That was a good recovery. Most people would just face plant it. So back down to P5 for Sam. Good news for Zico, he's up into 3rd. He's only 2.5 seconds off the lead of the race right now. So definitely can't rule Zico out of a victory here. BX is out on those medium tyres. He's going to be staying out for quite a while. Probably do the full tank on them. Astro as well on the mediums. Mediums for Zico. Mediums for Anonyma in the wall. Sam might try and get that position back. It's going to be pretty easy actually in the end for Sam. What about Yannick? Can Yannick catch up before the next corner? Anonyma, does he have damage? He doesn't have damage. That's good news for him. He's also got into Sam's slipstream there, so not much Yannick can do in the Gen X right now in this braking zone. Everyone taking very slightly different lines through that corner. And then we got Arukis trying to keep up with them, but losing a bit of pace. He's on the hards, and that's the reason why. So he's going to stay out, probably do a full tank on the hards, and then move on to the softs for the end of the race. No, there's going to be more. There's going to be more pit stops, surely. Senor back in 8th, pretty much in no man's land. Higgsy, we haven't seen much of Higgsy today. Looks like he had a bit of a mistake there. Rocket is catching up to him. Rocket's still hanging on in the top 10. Unfortunately, Beaumont has dropped outside the top 10. He's got some damage as well, so let's see what's happened there. Oh, he's already got the damage, never mind. And it's gone, but he's dropped 22 seconds behind BX. He was ahead of him coming into the pit, so unfortunately not as comfortable on the hard tyres as he was at the start of the race. But he's already proved himself, hasn't he? And he's still ahead of the Tier 4 champ. Polty still in 12. McLaren, I don't think would be too strong here. The gap between P1 and 2 currently stands at 1.8 seconds. The gap between P2 and P3 has dropped to below a second. It's actually 0.8 of a second right now. Yeah, Zico has done an extra stop and he's only 2.6 seconds off the lead. That is right. He's stayed out of the trouble. To be fair, BX definitely was in some sort of incident at the beginning of the race because he hadn't made any progress. He was right at the back on, I think, lap 3. So he's come through really nicely. Astro's showing incredibly consistent pace here, but not being able to... Oh, he's hit the wall! And Zico's kind of kissed the wall, but much lighter than what Astro did. Does Astro have any damage? No, he's avoided damage. He does have quite more worn tyres than Zico does at this stage. So Zico's got a good chance here. Half a second is the gap. We know the Mazda loves the straights, and he's got a bit of slipstream to boot. I think this is potentially going to be a Tier 1, 1, 2 on the cards, but Astro's going to have to go defensive. He's going to have to defend this really well here coming into the corner. Zico does break in time, and he's going to try and go the long way around. He can't really even do... Oh, Astro loses a bit of traction on the exit, and Zico nearly hits the wall there. He had to push Astro out of the way, and it is the position. And despite battling, he is now only 1.5 seconds off the back of BX. So this is going to be quite the battle between BX and Zico for the lead of this race. Is BX going to be able to hold on to it for much longer? We'll have to wait and see. 1.8 seconds is the gap. What BX needs is for Astro to have a little look at Zico. The gap's only not even 2 seconds between these two. So if Astro can start causing Zico some problems, it'll allow BX, whose time's just getting eaten up. 1.4 is the gap now. Making up time in the corners and losing it massively on the straights. But yeah, Astro not going for a move. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Let's have a little fuel check. BX has just under 50%. Zico probably has a lap more fuel on board. Maybe even 2, because... no, maybe 1. The Mazda's good on its fuel as well. The Porsche, pretty much the same as Zico's. Sam's going to have to come in fairly soon. He's not had a good stint on these softs because he hit the wall. He could have been leading this race on these softs, but he's going to have to come in fairly soon. He's struggling for pace, and Yannick is fancying a move on Sam. Anonymous dropped down to P6 as well, but still in the hunt here. And he has to lift massively. Sam defending for his life, and he's defending the inside line for this corner. Is the switch back on? Not this time. So Sam defending very well at this stage. He's going to be the first one into the pits for his second stop, apart from Zico, who's trying something funky. Let's have a little look a bit further down. Rook is pretty much on his own. 4.5, sorry, off Anonymous. So must have had some sort of issue. I'm not sure. Maybe he's just struggling on the hards because he didn't have an anomaly lap. 10 seconds back at Senor Fax, so he's doing pretty well, despite, well, apart from clattering the wall there. He's doing pretty well to keep up fairly close to the lead at this stage. Higgsy trying to recover from whatever happened to him earlier on. Up in P9, 2.6 now ahead of Rocket. Then we've got a nice little battle here. So we've got Polty trying to get past Beaumont. Polty is our tier 4 champion. Juho in the pits, trying to potentially get an undercut done. Beaumont going to very defensive there. And now basically saying pick a side to Polty. Polty's trying to go up the inside. Beaumont gives him the space. And back up into 11th it looks like Polty goes. Next up is our tier 5 champion for Polty, and he'll want to finish ahead of the champion of a lower tier, who's currently sitting in the top 10. What's happening at the front? It looks like Zico has finally caught up to BX here. He's got the overspeed. Yeah, he's got a couple more miles per hour than BX at this stage. And lifting and coasting before the braking zone as well. Not fancying a move just yet. This is Mazda versus BRZ. You couldn't find 2 more different cars, but Sam's in the pits as well. But I think everyone will agree that the most annoying sounding 2 cars on track and in GT7 in general. So Sam's in the pits. Let's see where he comes out. If he comes out outside of traffic, which it looks like he might, because everyone else is about to go past now. If he has some clear air, this could work out very well for Sam. So through goes Polty, through goes Beaumont. Out comes Sam. He's got a couple of seconds. And he's doing a medium stint. Potentially for the next 11 laps. I think that is 11 laps worth of fuel in there, so I don't think he's going to be stopping again. So he's got a good little opportunity here for an undercut. Meanwhile, at the front, Zico is still not past BX. The gap is 0.6 of a second. We'll stick with this little battle now because I have a feeling it's going to start getting a little bit spicy at the front. Who's going to do comms when I win tier 3? Who said I'd win it? Anyway, yeah, so BX is actually, since he's been caught by Zico, he's put in a pretty solid shift here. He's 0.7 of a second up. That's probably still enough to stay ahead by the end of the straight. The gap is now already down to 0.5. We're still only halfway through the tunnel. But yeah, it would be Pyro, because it's unless you think Pyro is going to be qualified for the Race of Champions. Yes, Zico closed the gap from 0.7 to 0.4 on that straight, so only 0.3 of a second is the difference. So maybe the BRZ isn't so bad on the straights as it used to be, because you'd lose over a second surely if you were the BRZ. And now it's back over a second. It looks like BX just missed clearing the wall there. Inch perfect driving by the tier 1 guys. Astro and Yannick closing in on them as well. So we got the top 4 separated by 3.2 seconds. Anonyma in P5 is a little bit off. He's starting to lose pace with the other guys, but Astro really keeping up pace well. Aruk is still out on the hards, struggling on the hards. Senor Fak just 1.8 behind his championship rival in tier 2 from this season. He's on the mediums, which are pretty worn now, so potentially he'll, well, I don't know, he's got to stay out a little bit longer though, because I'm pretty sure he's got to be on the softs at the end of the race. You're not going to get, what, 9 laps out of those softs. So the gap once again, well actually we've got one more corner before the tunnel. The gap is about 1/10 smaller than it was, but then BX just suddenly increases it by 1/10 every single corner by the looks of things, with how good the BRZ corners. And Zico is probably going to get back down to 0.3 again by the braking zone, unless something unusual happens. We're not going to see the overtake that we want to see, or at least a battle. I think whoever pits first has a huge advantage here between BX and Zico. The question is which one of them is going to blink first and go for the soft tyres. Zico's done 2 medium stints now, got off the hards very early on. It seems to have worked out massively well for him. He's closing the gap a lot, it's under 0.3 now. And then it's already up to 0.6 just through a couple of corners. God, if you're considering cars for next season, you've got 2 great options here, to be fair. But they're going to be good at completely different parts of the track, so it depends what do you want? What are you good at? Do you want a car that's got good top speed, or do you want a car that you can really take advantage of and cruise to pole positions because it takes the corner so well? Can you get pole positions with the BRZ though? That's the thing. It's a very, very tricky car to get the hang of. I think there's a bit of double shifting involved sometimes as well. Really strange car. Also causes lots of accidents. Looks like BX is a bit closer now. Like we said, 0.7 is not enough of a gap. He's under half a second. He has to stay under half a second over these next corners. But BX, well, actually got a better exit there. Where's Sam dropped? He's done an early pit stop. He's on a bit of a different strategy to everyone else, so might see him later on when all these guys have to make the final stop. The gap is now half a second. This might be a chance for, this might be an outside chance for Zico. The problem is the Mazda has horrible, horrible brakes, so it's not good at overtaking at a hairpin like this. You see the brake lights came on pretty much at the same time for these 2 cars, even though BX was a good couple of car lengths ahead at least. And that is why he's able to defend so effectively against Zico right now. So let's go a little bit further down. Let's see. Gabo is currently... Oh, he's got damage as well. Currently bringing up the rear, followed by Juho, our tier 5 runner-up. Then we got Beaumont, our tier 6 runner-up, behind Sam in P11, trying to get past Polti. Remember, he came out behind Polti and Beaumont. He's going for it on the inside here. He really needs to get past these guys and continue putting in some laps to get a bit of an undercut on the guys ahead who've got to come out on softs and be incredibly quick. And he's got he's got this lovely 8-second cushion ahead of him to try and set some fastest laps on these medium tyres. I don't think he'll be hitting a 55.7. He does have the fastest lap of the race though, which is crazy. What's BX's fastest lap? A 56 flat, 3/10 slower than anything Sam's managed. So, not a surprise for me to see that after commentating Tier 3 all season. Might be a surprise for some of you watching, but that is the kind of pace that wins you 5 in a row in Tier 3. And still, Zico's going to be still too far behind, but his tyres are wearing thin now, and, well, BX is definitely going to have to come in the pits here. So, if I'm Zico, do you want to stay out? Probably. You want to do the opposite of the driver in front of you, usually, when you get in this kind of position. Because if you come in at the same time, although Zico's got more fuel, he could jump him on fuel. He doesn't know this, though, that's the problem. BX coming in, Zico carrying on. What about Astro and Yannick? Astro coming in, and Yannick is carrying on for one more on incredibly worn mediums once again. What about Anonymous? He's carrying on. Arukis on his hards is coming in, even though he's got plenty of fuel left, so he'll jump some spots with having to put in less fuel than everyone else. Higgsy carries on. He's going to take a few places. What we're interested in is Sam, because Sam was ahead of a lot of these guys when he came in. Had a bit of traffic to get past. His previous lap was a 56.5. He's closed the gap massively to Rocket by 3 seconds as well. Rocket comes into the pits anyway. So he's come out behind his countryman Arukis, but ahead of Senor Fak. Sam is on the mediums, Senor Fak is on the softs, Arukis is on the softs, so Arukis should really start gapping Sam quickly, and Senor Fak, the Tier 2 champion, is 3 seconds behind the Tier 3 champion, and he'll be wanting that position before the end of the race. Zico, meanwhile, is carrying on. He's got the lead of the race by 4.4 seconds. BX is out in P5 all on his own, so this has worked out pretty well for him. He's still ahead of Astro, who probably put in less fuel once again. So let's stick on board and ride along and see how Zico tackles this. I think he could potentially do another lap, you know. But it depends what he wants to do. He might lose his position to Astro as well, and that would be absolutely crucial, because Astro is pretty close behind. Look how close Astro is to BX now. The gap is only, well, it's not even a second. So if these guys are at least a second quicker than Zico coming into the pits, then he's got a long battle ahead of him, but on fresher tyres, it's going to be a very close one. Here he comes into the pits. Yannick is coming in as well. So pretty similar strategies for the Tier 1 guys. Anonymous carrying on once again. We saw him come in very late on the first stint as well. What about Higgsy? Another Porsche. It looks like his tyres are about to give up. He should come in. Indeed. BX carrying on. And BX is going to... Well, there's Zico coming out of the pits. It looks like he's got the position. BX has the speed. This is going to be really close into the next corner. Zico going to the right. He needs to really defend this next corner. It looks like he doesn't even need to. That is fantastic. He managed to underfuel beautifully. BX is going to try and get around the outside. He's gone for it. There's a little bit of contact. And BX has the position. And here comes Astro as well. Can't do anything there. So let's ride on board with Zico as he loses the lead of the race from a very comfortable position here. I have no idea how brave BX managed to get alongside there, but he did just about enough. Zico couldn't do anything, and that is potentially the race win for BX. Zico has to do a lot to try and chase him down. He clattered the wall there. That means that Astro instead is going to be closing the gap on him. Got Anonyma, the only driver who is yet to pit by the looks of things. And Astro's going to go. No, he has a look at Zico, but he decides not to. Zico goes wide anyway. Maybe he scared him wide with that move. Zico all out of shape on these soft tyres. Not able to get the car turned in for that corner, and he loses another position. Having come out of the pits in the net race lead, he loses that position to Astro, and now he's potentially net P3. That's really unfortunate. What's Anonyma is going to have to come into the pits now. He's got a 13.3 second lead on BX. He'll struggle to stay in the top 5, I reckon. Let's see what Zaruka's up to. He's not too far behind Yannick at the moment, and then there's a 5-second gap to Sam behind him. Yannick on the softs, almost everyone on the softs at this stage of the race now. Anonyma is in the pits putting in fuel. BX is going to go round the hairpin and take the lead of the race once again, with just 5 to go. He doesn't need to put in too much fuel, but he's still refueling as Arukas goes past. What about Sam? Sam and Senor Fak having a nice little battle. Anonyma about to join this battle as well. Looks like Anonyma's just ahead of them. He has come out comfortably ahead of them, actually. Now Senor Fak, let's ride on board with Fak. He wants to get this position on Sam. He's got the fresher tyres. Can't do it right there. Trying to line his corner up. And yeah, just can't do it. So Sam needs to really defend like this for another couple of laps, and then the crossover point starts getting a bit closer, and the mediums will start giving him a little bit more in comparison to the soft tyres. 55.7 was Senor Fak's fastest lap. That's still a whole second slower than Aruka's fastest lap that he's just set at 54.7. Let's see what's happening at the front. We've got a three-way battle for the lead. Astro has just gone wide and potentially lost P2. No, he cuts in. We need to see what happened there. So he closes the gap a lot to BX up this hill. BX has absolutely no beans, but oh dear. And then he cuts back in just before Zico could do anything with it. But this might be Zico's chance now, because that has caused Astro to lose his momentum. He actually gets a bump draft down the straight by Zico, because it's not the right time to get an overtake done. Very clever driving there from Zico. He's going to try and go around the outside. Is he going to be able to do it? Astro gives it the space. Zico nearly collects BX as well, because he's right there. Little nudge through the corner as well. But Zico looks like he's got that position. Astro's going to try and get, well, he's going to have to try and replicate what BX did on the a couple of laps ago to get past Zico. And there's nothing he can do about it right now. And once again, there's only half a second separating these two guys who've won so many times in Tier 1, Zico and BX Royal. Zico with an absolutely great chance. He's got fresher tyres than BX. With a few laps to go, that could be absolutely crucial on the final lap. If he can get this done. He's just set the fastest lap of the race as well, with an overtake, probably because of the slipstream benefiting him so much. And now he's going to have to try and do the same again with this Subaru in front of him. So 28 laps in, and the top three separated by 1.2 seconds. And one of them is a Tier 3 driver. Here he comes. Well, he thought about it and had to back out, actually, Zico. Is he going to still make the apex? He does. Astro goes deep again. This is it's not the quickest line doing that, but it feels like a choice. I've seen him do it so many times. So remember the 0.7 of a second rule that we saw between Zico and BX. Is BX going to manage to get back up to 0.7 around this corner? Yes, he is. So we're back in this cat and mouse situation with the timings. Zico is just too far behind coming through that twisty section to be able to reel in BX enough to get a move done, and then we're back into another twisty section and BX extends the gap again before the next straights, and he's just safe. So BX just basically needs to not make any mistakes. And I don't think Zico could catch him. Look at how close he is around the corner. But yeah, BX doing an incredible job here. He's really driven consistently since he started to make his way through the pack after whatever happened earlier on. I don't know. I don't think many people could hold on to a lead like this in the BRZ around a high-speed circuit as well. So the gap once again, well, it was up to 7 tenths again, and then he's going to close it down, and BX is probably going to gain another tenth around this corner alone. It's down a half a second, back up to 6 tenths again, very momentarily. And if the Mazda had better brakes, Zico would absolutely go for it, but I don't think he's going to be able to. The Mazda has potentially the worst brakes of a Group 3 car. I think of one of the better ones, of a car that would qualify for Race of Champions, I think it probably comfortably has the worst brakes. Oh, BX hits the wall a little bit, he's losing, it's down to 4 tenths of a second around this corner. This could be Zico's chance now. And it looked like both of them hit the wall on the exit there, both of them pushing incredibly hard. This is as close as Zico has been all race long to getting an overtake done on BX. Gap down to 3 tenths now. Here we go. He's going to have to go around the outside. And BX squeezes him a little bit wide there, keeps the position, and gets away with it again. Let's ride on board with that, because we couldn't really see it on the TV camera. It looked like a bit of a Nico Rosberg, Lewis Hamilton at Austria kind of thing. Yeah, BX just delays the turn in, or maybe Zico turns in too early. Not too sure, but here we go. BX 7 tenths of a second ahead again. There's only going to be 2 more laps for Zico to try and get this position. They have dropped Astro a little bit now, so it is a 2-horse race, but by the looks of it, for the Race of Champions title. BX has won it plenty of times before. Zico has never actually competed in the Race of Champions. This is the first time. He's qualified many times, always been too busy. This time he technically didn't qualify, but because people weren't available, he is potentially winning it. He's 8 tenths of a second away with just under 2 laps remaining. Potentially lost his golden opportunity there because BX made a couple of small mistakes, lost a little bit of momentum, a couple of tenths, which allowed him that opportunity. The gap is currently 6 tenths of a second. It's changing all the time. Yeah, that's just fantastic in the BRZ. I completely agree. Maybe it's just not as bad as everyone makes it out to be, that this is possible. I mean, obviously we're seeing it lose loads of time, but if you know how to take the corners, you're better than everyone else anyway. Especially if you're one of the quickest drivers in ALR, that's for sure. The gap, 4 tenths of a second. He's got to really think about going for it. BX's tyres are very, very shaky here. He's really calculated this to the exact lap, and he's got a chance again, and they are side by side, a little bit of contact in the braking zone, and he's going to try and hang it around the outside. Nothing he can do there. BX gets the position back, loses a bit of traction, but he's going to try and get back above, but BX closes that door. He's saying you're not getting through that way. Now, under brakes, yeah, of course, we're going to see the BRZ just a lot more comfortable around a corner like that. That's where BX took the position off Zico, and yeah, that's where he's the most comfortable. Now we've just got 1 more lap of this Race of Champions. The gap is 4 tenths of a second. Zico's not out of it. Look at the tyres on BX's car right now. He's going to be in puncture territory at the end of the race on these soft tyres, that's for sure. Zico really closing the gap here. Is he going to be able to stick with him through the corner with the dirty air as well? The gap is 3 tenths of a second. This is potentially the golden opportunity here for Zico. 3 tenths of a second, 2 tenths of a second. One of the last opportunities to get it done. BX going defensive. This is the final lap of the race. BX, is he going to overshoot? He isn't, and he's not going to let Zico get the switch back either. Zico had to back out of that, or else there would have been a massive incident between the two of them. And BX continues to be just ahead, but the gap is very slender. I don't think he's going to be getting to the 7/10 in just a single corner here. And actually, a bit dodgy around that corner for BX. He's losing his grip now. We've got Zico thinking about a move already. They're going to go side by side through the tunnel. And he's just got it. He's got it so easily. That is the lead of the race on the final lap. Now, what can BX do coming through the tunnel? He's got the slipstream. He's going to have to be incredibly late on the brakes if he wants to get this P1 back. Remember that Mazda doesn't have good brakes. He'll have to brake earlier than the BRZ. And he can't. Zico's got it. Just one more sector now for Zico. He's not led at all this race. And he takes the lead on the final lap, taking full advantage of those soft tyres, which were a little bit fresher than Zico's. He lost those positions after he came out the pits, got them both back. One of them he left it incredibly late. Now he's gapping BX massively because BX's tyres have gone off. I don't know if BX would have been able to keep fighting for that position if he kept it at the hairpin. But rounding the final corner to win on his Race of Champions debut is Zico. Fantastic result there in the Mazda and in the BRZ for BX. Two great drives, and it looks like it's going to be a tier 1, 1, 2, 3, because Yannick has just got past Astro at the end. Astro and Anonyma in P4 and 5, the Porsches from tier 3. Then we've got two tier 2 drivers, Arukas and Higgsy, crossing the line side by side in 6th and 7th, and we've got Sam on incredibly dead medium tyres crossing the line in 8th place. Tier 5 champ Rocket looks like he's going to finish in 9th in the end. Something's happened to Senor Faki's all the way down in 11th here. Zico winning on tyre management. Yeah, exactly. Quite a huge gap. 23 seconds between the top 8 and the rest here. With Rocket finishing in 9th position because Zico's just left the lobby. Polty is getting P10. Then we got another gap to Fak, who's he's got punctures. He's got punctures. What? This is a 2-minute 36 lap. Wow. Okay. Then we got Beaumont in the wall at the end there. Just set his fastest lap of 56.2. Not too shabby. Gave a really good account for himself in that first stint. I think he should be pleased with his P11. 32 seconds above Juho, who is finishing the race on the hards because he started on the softs. Him and Gabo both started on the softs. Not quite worked out for them. The runner-up in tier 5 on your screen right now. I've seen him in quite a few Racer Champions, Juho. So yeah, nice little run out for him. The only M6 I think on the grid today. M6 dominance. Does it exist? Is it a myth? And the Renault, he did do incredibly well at the start. Unfortunately, fell a little bit back. Came in with very short notice here to finish in P13. So now that everyone has crossed the line, just wanted to tell you about a little announcement. I'll just get the hold on a sec. Let me just get the results on the screen. Well, it's Zico's at the top, but it's going to show him all the way at the bottom because he left. It says he doesn't have a time, but he clearly won the race. So there you go, BX. It looks like you won there. But yeah, we've got a Patreon race coming up, which looks like it's going to be pretty popular. I think it's this time next week. It's going to be a kind of spin the wheel situation with rarely used Group 3 cars, VGT races around 700 pp, and modern Group B cars with tuned suspension. And yeah, I think the tracks and which the car combinations are going to be completely random. And yeah, it should be pretty exciting. The tracks are going to be short tracks that we don't usually use as well in on Monday League. So chaos will ensue. So that'll be an exciting one for the Patreon boys. There is the second page in case any of you are interested in that. The fastest lap was a 54.5. Only a couple of guys in the 54s. Astro and Yannick and Arukas all got in the 54s as well. So that's it, yeah. Thanks for watching. That was the last race of Season 16. Got off-season events and all sorts going on in the off-season, and then end of the month we start Season 17. So yeah, thanks for watching and thanks for a great season, guys.